We open on an empty street in South Soffit. The quiet hangs heavy here this late at night. A rather residential street. Apartments lining the road, a grocer here, a barber there. A door opens to the left. Light casts onto the street outside. Laughter in glass clinking filters out into the night air. A woman in her late 30s strides out, waving back through before the door shuts. The shock of the noise dissipates and the quiet returns. She sighs and pulls a cap down on top of her curls. Her eyes are bright, if a little bleary from alcohol. The exhaustion of a day's work not yet given a moment to settle in, but will come soon enough. She kicks a rock, and it clatters down the street, her mouth turned up in a smile, thinking about Gina leaning over the bar just a little further this time around, how their fingertips had brushed just so as a glass passed between them. She dipped her head as rose flooded the skin of her cheeks, as if anyone could see. A shadow did, and it moved behind her. It knew nothing of that, but it wanted to. The woman shoves her hands into her pocket, playing with a ring of keys, barely paying attention to where she was going. A well-tread path to a 6-story apartment building that may have never seen better days. She climbs the stairs to the upper level of South Soffit, a spring in her step, boots ringing out of tune each time they hit down on the rickety iron stairs. She matches the steps with a whistle. And a shadow follows, pulling itself along the edges just on the periphery, just out of the corner of our sight. As the woman climbs, her music begins to mix with the incessant buzz of the hanging wires that make up the sky of South Soffit. A droning that she barely notices anymore, but we do. It prickles the hair at the back of necks. Like the silence did on the streets below, the air hangs heavy here, smoky and thick. She looks odd here in this moment, the sparking of wires like lightning through the smoke-like clouds that whirls around her as she continues on her path home, flirting with the edge of the unrailed walkway. And a shadow climbs the columns that barely hold up this walkway, fast, slinking, silent. Movement not as fluid as a shadow should be if shadows normally moved of their own accord. It hunted. It was hunting. It had been hunting for a long time, but along the way, it had lost its quarry. It needed a placeholder. It knew nothing of her, but it wanted to. She stopped outside a door. Her keys clacked together as she pulled them out of her pocket. Through the door, and 3 stories up was home. A bed for a couple hours, and then back on the rails. She shut the door on a shadow she didn't know was there. Halfway up the stairs inside her building, her smile dropped. Her eyes started to feel grainy, and her shoulders sagged as she dragged herself up and let herself into her apartment. As she opens her apartment door, we see over her shoulder a shadow slip through the crack where the window doesn't quite reach the sill and spread itself neatly across the floor. She didn't see it at first, on purpose. It liked to watch, to know. Habits it didn't have, habits it would have soon, habits it needed, wanted. How she twirled her hair around her finger once, twice, thrice. How she hopped out of her shoe rather than bending over to take it off. How she unbuttoned her shirt from the bottom up. Another sigh, but this one deeper. This one not from the memory of Gina winking her way, but of resignation. Knowing her shoulders would hurt in the morning, and they'd hurt a little bit more the next night. She closed her eyes and rubbed at her temple, turning on the old, dirty electric light in the bathroom that added its buzz to the noise that seeped through the walls from outside. She splashed water on her face, drops flicking onto her undershirt. The mirror was cracked at the edge, always had been. And while she dried her face on a towel, a shadow moved into the corner of the reflection. She dropped the towel into the sink and looked up at herself. It was how she looked in the mirror, lips curling into a smile again, that set it off. It needed to know that. Another figure moves quickly, a bundle under their arm, dodging open electric wires and upper soffit. A dangerous path to walk, but one that doesn't call much attention to you. Rachel, would you please describe your character?
You see Calahan, and he has one look, and pretty much only one look, with living in South Soffit and anywhere that's possible. He's got sort of these traditional tannish brown trousers on, black suspenders that hold up these pants to a kind of rough white sleeves rolled up shirt. It's kind of baggy, it's a little dirty, but it's not unkempt. So he's unnoticeable, but also not necessarily the most fashionable person in the room. Classic clothes, so to speak. He has a black sort of tweed necklace on with a black stone that hangs from it, and this bright green, although a little dark, because of the dirt and scum that gets sort of mixed into it because you can't wash hats. And so he's got this sort of darkened green that was once bright adventurer, explorer hat that he never takes off unless he absolutely has to, or the wind decides he's not wearing it that day. And that's pretty much what he looks. The rest of him, maybe some dirt and scuff on the face, on the hands, but unnoticeable, unremarkable, except for maybe a little bit of a skip and a hop in places that he might be where he shouldn't be so happy.
As Calahan walks, eyes darting around, constantly keeping watch on his surroundings, make me a survey roll.
First roll.
Your first roll of the game's a 1.
I will say, you can add drives if you want. This is a low stakes roll, though.
No, that's all right. He's a little clumsy. It's all right.
This place, not new to you per se. You've traveled it. You lived here at one point, and you've traveled it enough in your time that the walkways above that may seem a little dangerous to others were your playground. And as you walk, all of a sudden, right in front of your face, at the tip of your nose that brings you up so short, is this sudden beam of blinding white light that flashes from a window in a building on your right across the walkway and dashes against the wall. And it stays there for a couple seconds steady, and then retracts as if there was no light at all.
That's odd. Just odd. He sort of mumbles it to himself, assuming that there's no one out here who would hear him anyways. Did this light did it feel like it came from a place or go to a place or just sort of disappear?
It looked like it was streaming out of a window from a building on the right and hitting a wall on the left and then retracting back that direction.
Oh, like a rubber band.
Yes.
How close am I to the place it came from? Is this a jumping over something scenario?
You would have to take the nearest stairways to the floor to get into the building, but it is close to where you are currently.
Okay. Would I recognize the building it came from?
It looks like a building that was part of old tenement buildings. It's pretty nondescript, a housing unit, obviously.
I'm gonna go down the stairs and go knock on that door.
You knock on the door, and you wait a few moments, but no one comes to answer it.
Do they have windows on the lower floor that I'm at?
Yes, they are currently covered by curtains.
I think after no one comes after the first round of knocking and he can't quite see through the windows because there are things covering them, I think he does a little bit of and then one of those musical knocks where you have a tune in your head, and so you're like, do, 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 on the door to try and give it a little bit forceful, a little bit louder this time to try and get somebody to come and maybe answer the little tinkling of sound.
You wait a few more seconds, and just as you think you're out of luck, the door opens, and you see an older woman in a nightgown, eyes kind of wide, looking up at you from her kind of hunched position. Hello?
Hi, ma'am. You look lovely today. So, is this your home? Can I enter it?
It's a lot of people's homes. I live over there, and she kind of opens the door a little bit more and points to a door inside what looks like the first floor of an apartment building.
Great. So this is sort of like a apartment building for multiple people.
Yes, are you looking for someone?
No, ma'am. In all honesty, I'd just like to enter the building, so...
Roll me sway, so 2d6 and then take the lower number.
That's a 1.
Dearie, it's quite late, and if you don't know anyone in the building, you don't need to be in the building.
I suppose you raise a good point. Alright, counterpoint then. When it's the morning time and it's not late, even though I don't know people in the building, can I come in then?
I would prefer knowing this now that you didn't, but I suppose if somebody else answered the door, it would be up to them.
Excellent. Are you awake in the morning, ma'am?
I hope so.
Okay, well, I hope you're not. But if you are, I'll see you tomorrow. And if you're not, hopefully I'll be in the building. Thanks for your help today.
Okay.
And she just shuts the door.
Excellent. He makes a plan, a little note in his head that tomorrow morning he should come back, and if he gets the old lady, he'll have to figure it out from there. But she did very politely ask him to not come in, and it's late at night, so he'll wait until tomorrow morning.
As Calahan begins to walk away, where is he headed? Is he headed home to his room?
My assumption would be that although maybe we now exist in a ragtag group, that if Candela has not given him access, he would have found a way to have access to the aviary to live inside of our chapter house. So he's probably headed back through the South Soffit streets to go nuzzle up with the little birds and bats that keep watch in our aviary.
Across town, a bright flash of white light lights up the face of a young man. Credits begin to scroll on the screen at the Meridian Theater at the end of a screening of A Day in the Life of Filbert Prudhoe, a film that premiered to lackluster reviews for being quote-unquote too artsy, but to which the current audience, though small, is clapping for. Brennan, can you describe your character?
This is Oz Skinner. Oz Skinner has sort of a scary James Cagney face, except he's the furthest thing from a gangster or really an actor, as much as he'd like to think he is one. He's got these long eyebrows that are always arched up that looks like he doesn't believe what anyone is saying. And he's got this long sort of crooked, broken smile. And he's normally wearing a hat, a brown hat that's sort of tipped to the side, that covers his right eye, as his right eye has sort of a strange iris to it. It's not normal. It's got some strange fractal happenings within it. But if he ever took off his hat, he would have this very black, slicked hair right in the middle of his head that looks like it was used with just like lard or grease to just absolutely push it down as flat as possible. He's wearing a bedraggled, all-brown suit with a blue tie, and he always flashes off this large gold necklace with a amber spider and spider web on it.
As the lights begin to slowly brighten and people begin to filter out, you stay seated, watching all of the names scroll past. Elbows appear on the back of the seat next to you, and then a head comes to rest, looking forward. Through your peripheral, you can see a strand of red hair laying against her cheek. I feel like this is one of those movies I hate and you love.
Well, you see, you've got to love your own work, whether people like it or not. You got to stand by your own art.
She's all painted up, immaculate, as if she's going to be discovered in the back of a dark theater. Cherry Dutch. Well, I guess hate might be a strong word for me. It was fine, not my usual style.
What would make it better?
Me?
Right, I know, of course you're going to say that. Outside of you, we didn't sell too bad. What would make it better? What do I need? Do I need to film collapsing buildings?
No, but I do think having maybe more characters than one would help.
People aren't here for characters anymore. They're here for the big spectacles. They want to see things that they haven't seen before. They want, like, a building falling. You ever seen a building falling? I've been thinking about that a lot, can't you tell?
Is your next film gonna have a building falling?
If I can figure out how to make it happen, I'll make it happen.
Uh-huh.
You don't by chance know any demolitionists, do you?
No, I wouldn't say
Me neither.
that I surround myself with workers as such.
Oh well, on to the next one.
You know, maybe, and she kind of spins herself around and leans against the back of the chair next to you. If you didn't spend your time putting on little shows with that strange woman you call a friend, we would be here watching a movie with a building falling.
I think that woman is the best chance I have at making a living off of all this. Thank you very much, Cherry, for your insight once again.
And, furthermore, I won't be available for the next 3 months as I was cast in a production down the street. So don't call me.
You're lying.
You can come see on opening night.
I will. I'll be there. And you won't be. I guarantee it.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will, Cherry. Now leave my premises. I have things to do. Very important things.
Well, I'm sure that in about 5 minutes, you're going to be kicked off of your premises.
Yeah, that's why I have very important things to do, Cherry. I have to clean up.
That's what I thought. Well, anyways, I'll send you a letter and let you know the date and time to be there.
Fine, I'll be there.
Fine.
Fine.
Have a good night.
You too, Cherry.
And she flounces away up the aisle to the back of the theater and out the door.
Oz scrambles to start breaking down projectors and putting the film back and just getting out as fast as possible.
You break everything down. You exit the theater doors. The Varnish is bustling at this time of night. Restaurants doing last call, bars filled, music flowing freely, trolley cars rattling down the street. people walking along the sidewalks and no rush at all. And Cherry is leaning against the wall of the theater outside.
You don't have anywhere to be, do you? No, nothing important to do.
She steps up to follow you, apparently not getting the hint, though she never has. I just thought that maybe you would like someone to walk home with.
I'd like someone to walk home with if they are 2 feet behind me.
I'm not gonna follow you like a dog.
Well, then why did you wait outside for me?
Listen, one of these days, and she leans in really close and puts a finger in your face, we're gonna have to work together, and you're gonna like it. And that's the end of that. So get used to me now, because I'm gonna be everywhere soon.
Fine, Cherry, you can walk with me home.
That's what I thought. She steps into stride with you.
So what's your play all about?
It's a new work.
Hmm?
I've signed a non-disclosure agreement. So,
Oh,
you'll have to
Very
wait
official.
and see. Suspense and all.
say that one more time.
Suspense and all?
Right. Right.
If I've just given you your next idea, I'd better be credited.
I wasn't thinking about anything. I was thinking about the shortest path home.
She grabs a lamppost and kind of twirls herself around it. Trolley, train, car. What is it?
On foot. Back alleys. Follow me.
This isn't some trick that you're trying to pull. Her eyes narrow.
No. I've just got an idea, and I need your help.
Her eyes immediately brighten. That's the only thing I've been asking you for this whole time. I know what I'm doing. And she follows you.
Sure you do. Okay.
All right, Cherry. And we'll get to an alleyway, and I'll have her.
Cherry, I need you to stop right there. The light's hitting you perfectly. Hold on, let me set up my tripod.
And I'll go rush
Okay.
over and like crank the camera and take it out, put it onto the tripod.
All right. This is just an experiment, but I need you to walk forward very slowly. 3, 2, 1,
She
action,
preens
go!
a little bit. Oh, okay. And she begins to very slowly walk forward.
Okay, cut. All right. Suspense, Cherry. How do we build suspense?
I look behind me.
Right? You look behind you. Like someone's coming.
Indeed.
Right. Okay, reset.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2,
She
1,
walks
action,
back
go!
down the alley a little bit. Okay. And this time, there's a little bit of a hurry to her steps. And midway to where she started into the camera, she turns her head on her neck and looks down the alleyway.
That's good. Now look back at me.
She turns back with a slight expression of unease on her face.
Now, come forward. I want your face to be the whole frame.
She walks up, and as you see her face and her red hair enter the entire frame of the image, she stops and waits for you for another direction.
Oz will like looking through the viewfinder, see just pristine acting, and she's like terrified on her face, and she there's absolutely somebody chasing her. And he sort of peeks his eye around the viewfinder and stops filming.
It was all right. It's okay. I think I got what I need, though.
Could you make me a sense roll?
4.
You peek around and you say this to her. You kind of come back to your camera. You're starting to take it off. And she moves around to come next to you. And out of the corner of your eye, you see movement down the alleyway. And there's a creeping, tingling sensation on the back of your neck. And your eye, you can see it reflected against the brim of your hat, starts to glow.
Oz will just almost sleight of hand hold up his camera against his chest.
Cherry, perhaps
Yes,
you would...
anything else?
Yes, would you mind meeting me by the Meridian Theater in about 15 minutes?
Well, I won't wait forever,
I understand.
but sure.
Thank you. I'll see you there.
And her heels clack against the pavement out into the busy street again.
And then the whir of a camera starts to begin. And Oz will just start slowly turning to where he saw the flash of movement.
Mm-hmm. The alleyway is dark. You are the only soul in it.
Oz will take basically an illumination device out from his pocket and put it in his mouth and just click it on and hold it above the camera and just start moving forward.
The light shines a warm yellow onto the shadows of this alleyway. And they move with the light as you flick it around.
Well, time to go home, I guess. All alone here in the alleyway. Headed home.
He'll stop recording.
Hello? Put away the illumination device.
Is the eye still glowing?
It has started to fade back out to its normal, just fractal
Damn.
visage.
That's all right. Next time.
You hear your voice just reverberate against the walls as there's no response back except your own voice.
And Oz will put the camera away in his sort of old leather case, and thinking only about how he can build suspense, will walk home and completely forget about the Meridian Theater.
We glide along to a place right next to where we began. South Soffit, but this place, Groundswell. And a small abode that doubles as a shop of sorts of occult offerings. The open sign has been switched to closed. We push in on the door and through its window, the glass laid to refract light and not see clearly inside. Though, there do seem to be two slightly moving figures inside. Inside, on one side of a table, sits an old man. Hunched over, wispy white hair, eyes shining with hope. His gnarled fingers sit atop the tablecloth as he looks across the table. His question, more like his desperation, hanging in the air. Please, I've been with Matthias my whole life. I just need to know that he's okay now. Michelle, would you please describe who this man is imploring and what she is doing in this moment?
Helene is a woman with a large nest of greying hair pinned back hastily under a scarf, wisps still escaping here and there, and many more scarves pinned around her waist, pouches full of mysterious objects which may just come in handy. It's hard to tell how old she is. She has lines and wrinkles and blemishes, a face that looks careworn, but it's hard to know in a place like this if that's just because of the hardships of life or because of the hardships of age. And she is a difficult woman to read, but at this moment she is trying very hard to seem like somebody easy to read, as she rolls her eyes dramatically back into her head, and underneath the many scarves and skirts that she wears, underneath the tablecloth on this little table, she taps her toe down on a pedal attached to a string, which is disguised by the many scarves and the strange light in here, so that this elderly man can't see that she has just tucked open a little window, allowing a breeze to illuminate those wisps into action as she seeks across the veil to answer this poor man's question.
I'm going to have you roll sense.
Oh, I've rolled a 3 and a 1. Oh dear, Helene.
You feel this little bit of a breeze come through, and you hear the old man gasp at the sudden sensation of a little bit of chill in the room. And you hear something that you did not put into motion. You hear a small song, as if coming from a music box somewhere.
Helene's expression slips, and the kind of ethereal, eye-rolly thing she was attempting falls into a very obvious glance around with darting expression. He's the what was his what were his name? What was his name again?
Matthias.
Matthias. Yes. Of course. I was hearing an M name. Yes, I think he is here with me. And I think Helene begins to worry that she is losing. she is losing her mark here. So she kind of, completely inaudibly to anyone but herself, says, "All right, you better be as good as you say you are, Oz," and flips a little switch on the other side of her table, and we hear that click sound again, as just in Helene's eyeline, but behind the old man, a little light flickers on of a projector, and we see the distorted image of a man's face projected over her own. And, if somebody had been in that theatre that night, they might think that face was a little bit familiar to the film they just saw, but no, surely not. And this distorted face is projected over Helene's face, and she says, "Yes, he's here. He's here." And he says, oh, how he loves you. How he loves you.
Matthias, can he hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, my love.
I love you so much, and I miss you so much, but I just want to make sure that wherever you are now, you're okay.
Oh, I am, my love, but I miss you too, so please be sure to visit me often like this.
A tear falls down his cheek.
Oh, as Helene sees the tear, she lurches forward, knocks that flick off, and goes, I've lost him. I've lost him. Did you get to say what you wanted to say, my dear?
I did, and if it wouldn't be too much pain for you, I'd like to maybe come back soon and see him again.
Oh, of course, my dear. That is what I am here for. It is an honor to help those wounded by loss. But, that was a tiring one. Oh, do you feel a little chill in the air? I swear I feel a chill.
It did get a little cold. I was worried that meant something was wrong, but it seemed not to be.
No, I suppose it was just his way of making himself known to me. But you should hurry home, dear. I must rest. If you're happy to settle the account at this point.
Indeed, sure.
I'm so sorry to ask.
Pulls out a small little wallet from inside his jacket pocket and counts out almost all of the money that is in there and hands it across the table to you.
Helene takes a look at his hand as he hands the money across and notices a couple of rings still left and thinks, all right, I can keep this going a little while longer. And she guides the gentleman with soft-spoken words out into the cold night. And then she listens again to see if she can still hear that weird music that was definitely not rigged up by her. Unless Oz is playing tricks.
It dissipated.
She pulls out from one of her many pouches a set of oracle cards. which look very fancy, but if you were to look closely, you'd realise that she'd painted them herself to look a lot more expensive than they were. And she pulls out 3 and puts them on the table to check that they're the 3 that she expects to see. If the music's gone, I guess they are indeed the 3 she expects to see, and satisfied that she's safe for now, she tucks them away. She says out loud, "Alright, Oz, you're pretty good after all. Glad he only asked for 10%. What a damn idiot."
There's a rapid knock at the front door.
Oh, can you not read the sign? I'm closed for the night.
Sorry, miss. I have a delivery.
Oh, well, alright then. She sort of opens the door and peeks around.
There's a young kid, probably early teenage years, looking up at you, holding a little letter in his hand. And he says, "I was asked to deliver this immediately."
Well, thank you.
Wait. Puts it behind his back. "Are you Madam Hold on, I know. Madam Sparrow."
I am indeed.
"Okay, then, yeah, this is for you."
Thank you. She takes it and closes the door in his face.
"Not even a little tip," you hear through the door.
It's getting cold. Stay warm and wear a scarf.
You hear a shoe kick your front door, and then footsteps as he runs away.
I'll set the ghosts on ya!
The letter is... It's an envelope with no specific designation on it. Not even your name. Actually, it is just blank on the outside.
Alright, what fresh ale is this? And she'll tear it open without much care.
Opened inside is a folded piece of paper with hastily scribbled penmanship that just says, "Apologies for the late hour. Return to the aviary at once. Signed, Lightkeeper Bezco."
No rest for the bloody wicked. Alright. And she'll grab a few more pashminas, because she can never have enough pashminas, and she'll peek out, make sure that street urchin's nowhere around, and then she'll lock up with about 5 different locks. Pat the pouch that's a little bit heavier with coin than it was before, and head out towards the aviary.
We push away from Groundswell to yet another district of new fare, one that is just starting to grow busy at this hour, the late nights the most lucrative. A red haze seems to hang in the air on some streets, mixing with the lamplight to paint the streets red. RahRah, where do we find your character on an evening as such?
Crysalis, at the moment, is probably at home. If you look at Crysalis, he's 59 years old or so. Tall, tan, thin, as though a chimney sweeper was dressing formal. You can't read anything on his face because none of it's written for you. But if you were to run into him on the street, you would find that he resembles your favorite person in the world, yourself. And that's the best way he's found to go through this life. I'm also going to claim my first gear as I pull out my bleed detector, which is a tiny canary named Sebastian. And I will nuzzle him enough and set him down and let him wander around my room before he is carried in a little bug cage I keep on my belt when I'm out and about. And I think I'm going to go stroll. I like walking at night. I like watching the people's shadows, studying them. In the corner you see a mannequin with a bunch of pressure points kind of circled and highlighted on it, and then the walls are lined with books. But it's a fairly plain space for him having spent most of his life here.
Crysalis takes to the streets, seemingly alone, but not really alone. The raucous atmosphere that often, has been the tune of your entire life, really. Growing up here from birth, staying here through your teenage years, living here now as an adult. You hear the jaunty music from the casinos, you hear the laughter of voices through walls that are keeping secrets from you. You see some of the riffraff dodging through alleyways and streets on jobs for unknown individuals in unknown places. Is there any place in Red Lamp that Crysalis likes to go, or does he just like to stroll?
I think tonight is a stroll. If he did pray, he would say a small one for those urchins, because he loves them above all these others. And if you were to lean real close, you might hear him muttering, whispering a little, like you can't judge them too hard. Facades are all most of them will ever have. And keeps walking through the neighborhood. The occasional person catches his eye, and from across the alley he starts to mimic their hand motions, their shoulder placement, even the little smirk on their face before going on. Like, yeah, I liked that one too. Let's remember that one. And just happy to be whole as he goes through these streets, just biding the time till the next job. He has an agenda that involves other people's calendars, unfortunately.
You do see a few members of the periphery also seemingly taking a stroll around, which isn't uncommon. They do patrol the area, but they are looking the other way at most things going on here.
We all have to haunt something, I guess.
As you go through the streets here, taking in your home, you see a child that you know, probably about 8 years old, by the name of Benson, who is the who is the son of one of your mother's old friends that still hangs around the House of Sparrows from time to time, though not working so much anymore. And he is leaning against a wall of a building, kind of looking over his shoulder, watching the people come in and out of this particular bar.
I'll go lean next to them, as though we have this little game we play when we interact with each other, where I don't say anything, pretend I don't see them, and then pull my jacket back a little to let them see Sebastian.
They do their best to pretend that they're not interested, but slowly and surely, the eyes glance over. Do you ever let him out?
I do. I let him out whenever we're at home. He hides up in my rafters, but I have to keep him from other spaces because there's larger birds. You should always be afraid of larger birds.
I'm afraid of sometimes even the small birds, because they come and they try to steal things out of my hands.
They'll crawl into your mouth and live inside you forever. And
What?
I'll hand him a piece of candy that I also carry around for in case I run into the local urchin kids.
Unwraps the candy, looks at you with, like, as he's popping it into his mouth, with just, like, terror mixed with fascination. But Sebastian doesn't do that, right?
Sebastian's a good friend.
Okay.
And I'll pull out a little tobacco pouch and be like, this isn't for you. If I hear you didn't give all of this to them, no more Sebastian for you.
Fine.
There you go.
I'll take it.
What's the
And
word?
He goes,
What have you
Huh?
noticed?
oh, so I noticed that there's a new guy that frequents this place, and I don't think he's a good guy. I think he's doing some, of that shady stuff I'm not allowed to be a part of. But he seems really cool. Like, he wears an eye patch.
I think Crysalis enjoys kids because they're like bleed detectors for morality in adults. And for all his mimicry, they follow no pattern. So it's almost like watching this impossible song when you're a musician and you just don't know how to play jazz like that. So he probably has a few urchins he goes around and inquires about the day because they pick things up faster than even Sebastian does from time to time. So he's like, eye patch. Good to know. Is he in there right now?
Yeah.
Come a lot?
Yeah, he's been coming, like, every night for the past 2 weeks.
Someone needs a hobby, right?
I think maybe he has one, and that's why he's here.
Are you watching for him to come out, or you just...
Yeah, I want to see what time he leaves.
I'll lean up on the wall, offer him another piece of candy.
Are you gonna sit with me?
I'll mimic his whole shape, like however I can.
Over like the course of like the next 20 minutes, half an hour, he keeps moving to see if you'll move, and into the new position that he's in, the door opens and he kind of slaps you on the leg. He's right there.
The one with the eye patch, I'd guess?
Yeah, that's him.
I reach. I forgot my eye patch, unfortunately, at home. But I'm gonna pull out some sort of cigarette of sorts and just walk straight up to the man after giving my friend a little thumbs up behind my back. Excuse me, sir, do you have a light?
Good evening, I do.
Oh,
Pulls
blessed
it out of
be.
Jacket pocket, flicks it, puts it up to the cigarette.
Beautiful night, isn't it? The sounds of the street, they just get my heart churning.
Are you used to all this then?
Yeah, I'm used to all this. You new here?
Newer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice enough town.
Noise in this area is a bit much for me, but I'll make do.
I agree with everything you're saying. Thanks for the light. Sorry, my name's Chris.
Ah, Chris. Nice to meet you. My name's Ito.
Ito. Great name. Have a wonderful night, sir.
You as well. Kind of tips the hat to you and walks off down the street. And Benson comes up and pulls on your coat jacket. What did he say?
His name's Beto. Sounds kind of like an asshole.
Well, you know, sometimes cool people, or people who look cool, are also assholes.
Most of the time, I'd say. I'll, pat his head and flip him, a couple coins, and I'm gonna follow Beto from a distance.
Wait.
Oh, sorry, yes.
No, it's okay. I was supposed to give this to you, hours ago, but, I got distracted. So, anyway, here you go, and it is a blank envelope.
Assuming I sort of understand what this is, I'll be like, well, he could get distracted for another hour. I'll just put it in my pocket and follow Beto for a moment while I have the time and eyes on him.
Of course. You follow Beto. I'm going to actually have you make a hide roll here to sneak after him.
That is a 4 and a 5. I think I'll just mimic people as I walk past them, like Assassin's Creed, trying to blend in with every crowd sort of thing. But I also can feel the pulse of that envelope in my pocket and know that that is what I care more about. For a moment, I'm being bad. I'm 59. They can wait.
You follow Beto, and you watch as he makes his way across kind of the wider square that exists within Red Lamp to 756, which is a known Red Hand establishment. But you do watch. Most people who go there know this, that they run this exclusive parties there, that they invite certain people. But Beto still kind of pauses outside the door and looks up and down the street, and then ducks inside very swiftly.
Is Sebastian fine through all of this?
Sebastian is fine through all of this, yes. How does Sebastian, when he detects bleed, does he chirp in a certain way? Does he sing a song? What is his
At first, it's subtle and small. He's just trying to get my attention. Then, if we get too close without responding, it's more of a trying to spare their own life type of screech. In my little notebook I always have, I'll just add his name and the location to the people the urchins think are assholes list, and then not even open the envelope. I'll just start walking to the aviary.
Across rooftops, along the Stentorian, just next door, is Silverslip. More importantly for our story, sits a house. Opulent and overtly wealthy. Light shines from all of the windows, a hint of a record player scratching to a stop inside, as well as voices as we walk through the gate and up the path to the front door. Through the door and into a well-lit foyer, through a wide open door into a sitting room where a man is holding court among friends. Late 30s, holding himself in impeccable posture despite the fact that his cheeks are red from warmth and brandy, his shirt sleeves are rolled up to his elbows. A few other men sit around, lounging on a sofa, perusing the bookshelf, each with a glass in hand. Somewhere else in the house is a woman of means, as the house would denote. Louisa, could you describe your character and what she would be doing while her husband entertains?
I think she's actually just recently returned from a different party that she was at, so she is currently in a sort of dressing room, and one of her servants is helping her undo her outfit. She is 36, but she looks much younger. It is the soft face of a woman who has never worked a day in her life. Her hair is dark and it's in an updo, and it is very elaborate to signify not only is she beautiful, but she has someone else to do her hair. And she is currently, shifting out of her dress. It is a custom dress. Her family, of course, manufactures these dresses, so everything she makes is impeccably fitted and very loud. She wants to be the center of attention. But yeah, she's just, starting to get ready to go to bed. Her husband is of no concern what he's doing downstairs.
There is a knock at your dressing room door, and one of the butlers comes in and says, "Excuse me, madam. I have something delivered for you late this evening."
Oh, wonderful. Place it over there. Thank you so much.
There's a silver tray with a little piece of paper on it, and he puts it on the desk.
I will walk over to the tray and examine what he's placed.
This letter is not within an envelope. If it once was, it no longer is. And it is just like a small note card in size laying on the silver platter. And it's handwriting that you're aware of, you've seen before. And it just says, "Miss Adelaide, I hope to have caught you at a good time. Please come to the aviary."
All right. And I fold the note back up and I turn to my servant who's been helping me undress. And I'm going to need a new outfit. Something I can move in a little more, less fancy. We're not going out, and I make her dress me in a different outfit that is less, I'm less worried about it getting ruined, but it's still really nice.
Going to the aviary, how does Adelaide get there? I assume that she's not one for public transit, but does she drive herself? Or
I think she has a driver who, she's got, private transport set up. Yeah.
You get dressed, you go outside, you hear the men talking in the sitting room, and as you pass, you hear your husband go, "Addie, leaving so soon, again."
"Oh, you know how it is. You boys have fun. My love to you all."
Return safe.
Of course. I never get up to anything dangerous.
Can you roll me a sway?
Alright, that is a 5.
He has a bit of a hearty chuckle. There's a rapport here just because of being married and knowing each other now for a bit of time, where the understanding is, of course, this is not necessarily the most romantic of relationships, but he has shown in some sense a fondness for your quote-unquote quirks, as he sometimes says they are, and so gives a bit of a hearty chuckle and says, "Well, maybe take... Is Jonathan here tonight? Maybe take him with you."
"Oh, Sure. Yes, of course.
All right. Again, stay safe. See you in the morning.
Yes, do tell me how this all goes. Have fun, boys.
Turns back to the room and lets you go on your way. Jonathan is just another one of the many butlers of the house that, would go if you wanted him to, but that is completely up to you.
I think I ask him to help me into the car. Like, I do the, show and dance of yeah, he's coming, he's escorting me. But, he's there to help me, lift up my skirts to get in and out of the car. He's not here to actually go with me to the aviary.
Car turns on and putters a little bit, and then begins down the driveway, through the gate, and onto the road, towards the chapter house. Oz, you are dragging your camera through the streets, thinking about suspense and how that little trick of light in the alleyway left you with many thoughts on the subject. And are you going to your own home?
No, I was just gonna head to the chapter house because most of the time, the chapter house is, although covered with bird shit, a little bit nicer than where I'm staying.
Your chapter house sits on the edge of Hallow Harbor and the Shriveline, a hideaway at the top of an old abandoned church. High walls and towers belie the Gothic style of the Ascendancy. The original function of what you now all refer to as the aviary, due to the large collection of birds that it's caged in rooftops, which were originally meant to keep out animals, but now results in the opposite. A lot of birds call this place home. And the original function was to draw newly arrived tourists into the church's fold. But overall, that was unsuccessful and the plot was abandoned, leaving this place to gather dust and debris until this circle, the circle of the broken cage, moved in. As you get nearer, you see a familiar figure, also slinking through the dark, making his way towards the aviary. As you come to a point in the street nearby, you, Oz, and Calahan run into each other.
Calahan?
Hi.
Busy night?
Well, busy is a funny term.
Is it?
Is it not?
I guess
Then
it depends
no.
on the context.
Okay. Then I would say no. I guess it wasn't a busy night. Was yours a busy night?
Oh, extremely. I had them rolling over in their seats.
Literally?
So, the front door is which direction again?
I don't know. I always go through a window.
I think I remember.
Okay. That's probably the easier route. I can follow you. Unless you want me to show you how to go through the window.
Actually, how dramatic do you go through the window?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I don't know if I'm qualified to judge what is dramatic, per se. I think that's your realm of tease. But, I would say...
Calahan.
Mm.
How would you feel about, putting a little mud on your face for just a moment?
I mean, I'll do whatever you want me to, although I would like context if you have it.
Well, I'm gonna film you going into the window like you're breaking in.
Oh, I've broken into a lot of places. I can do that.
Oh, perfect. You should be... I've cast you perfectly. All right. I'm gonna set up here, and you go through the window. Hold on. Rub that mud on your face a little bit deeper.
Oh,
I need you to look like you're from the streets, like you need this, you need some riches.
Oh. But that's just me. Do I need mud for that?
Actually, yeah. Here, I'll just clean your face. Here,
Okay.
You look fine. You look perfect. Hold on, You got it literally in your eyelid. That's disgusting.
Oh. That
All right.
might be bird shit. We do live in an aviary.
Oh, God. All right. So, on the count of 3, I'll call action, and you do your thing.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, action, go!
You called
You got
action go. You called
Okay.
action go. You said you
All right,
call
hold on.
action.
Let's stop the camera. That's 3 seconds of wasted film. All right. We're going to try this again.
Okay.
I might say go as well. I might say action, and then I might also say go.
Okay.
Depends on
okay.
the moment, you know?
Okay, I
All
got
right.
it.
Okay. Do you want a running start?
Oh, okay. I got it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, action, go!
And he just sort of bolts towards the window in the most unlike running fashion you've seen in your life, as if he's a freshly born deer and has no idea how to run. And he sort of gets to the window, and I'm not sure how high the window is off the ground.
I'm gonna have you make a move roll. It's very low stakes. It's just to kind of see how cool this translates onto camera.
No,
I believe that's a gilded one for you.
I'm gonna spend the drive. Because this is
Okay.
what I would spend the drive on. I'm spending it.
A cigarette cherry down the block just light up as Crysalis is watching from an alley.
That is a 5 on the gilded.
The actual climbing through the window is kind of cool. Calahan has done this a lot. This is how he enters your chapter house. And he kind of like runs and then like climbs up to the sill and can like stand there until you get the window open and get through. But yeah, kind of does a parkour up the wall.
The film like clicks off.
Ah, perfect, Calahan. That was very vaudevillian.
I don't know what that word means, but you said perfect, so I like it.
You did a good job.
Excellent. He's just gonna straight up jump from whatever the height that window is. And it's like the window's open so that he can get through, but maybe it doesn't go open all the way, so he's kind of gotta like duck and jump. But he's standing on the sill, right, and he's got the window open. He's just like awesome with that great, beautiful review from one of the fellow members that he enjoys. And so then he just, without a thought in his head, just turns around and straight up jumps into the aviary.
The first floor of this that you jump into is kind of built like a service area for a church. So there are like long benches and rows. And so you jump down and you hit the edge of one of the benches and it just starts tipping. But you do like a cool little roll out of it. And you're all good.
I'll take the front door.
Okay.
A big sigh, because I always want to get there last. They're all very hyper when they first show up. But I'm just going to walk up right behind Oz and just stand as quietly as I can, watching them put their camera together.
That was good. I wonder if... I think I could get them jumping again. Jumping out the front, maybe. Would that break their legs? No, they'll be fine.
I'll reach around him and help him with one little lever clasp, trying to just slide my hands into his own as though he wouldn't notice.
Oz will
Magician tricks.
see a hand and attempt to grab it and try to flip, but Oz has horrible physical capabilities. So I think I just push you into the back of me or pull you.
All right, that was dramatic, Oz.
Oh, yeah, it's just you. All right.
Just
Thought I was
me.
getting mugged.
Just me.
How's
So
your
how's
night
your
been?
night developing?
Oh, good. It was good.
Were you kind of cherry this time?
About as kind as I will be.
Little notebook comes out. All right.
What was?
Word. I thought I heard Calahan.
What did you write?
Let me look. I thought I heard Calahan.
Oh, okay. Calahan went in through the window, as usual.
That, once again, a pain. And I'll bring out my keys. and just go open the door.
How does Helene arrive to the aviary?
She swans in like everything's fine. Don't worry about her. And she kind of takes in everyone who's there so far, and she says, "Oh, the great auteur, Skinner. First royalty checks come in."
Yes.
And chucks him that pouch that she brought with her with a few of the coins from earlier.
Perfect.
Yeah. Your name will be in lights in no time, I'm sure.
You really think so?
You all right, Duck? She sort of nods over at Calahan. Yeah. All right, Chris. How's that secret friend you keep close to your heart, eh? What's his name? Sebastian?
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
He's
alright?
fine. He's just winging it today.
Good. Yep. Not weird at all. All right,
And
yeah.
you, Miss Sparrow, how was your day?
Oh, yeah, normal, just doing the honest day's work as I always do, Chris. You know me. What you writing?
Oh, he pulls out the envelope. I was just trying to remember I had this. Oh, I'm supposed to come here. All right, good.
As the door kind of closes behind Helene, you hear the sound of a pattering car come to stop on the street outside.
Thank you, that will be all, Jonathan. Wonderful. And I'll, kind of, get on out, do my skirts, go on in through the door.
Everyone
can't
is
do
just,
the window.
waiting right inside as soon as you open the door.
Oh, am I the last one?
Oh, Christ, here we go.
Fashionably late as always. So sorry. Oh, Ozzy darling, how was your picture?
It was a hit to some. I think
I'll tell people to go. You'll get some eyes next time.
maybe not this one. Maybe not this one. The
Okay.
next one.
Will you let me know?
The next one. I'm planning to have a building fall.
My, how ambitious.
Yeah, you'll be writing about it, I'm sure.
I'm sure I will.
Like an obituary?
That's very possible, yeah. I haven't
Wait.
quite figured out the details.
Look,
Why don't you
I know
delete
it's in better
those?
days, but it's not that structurally unsound, and I'll just smack one of the walls and just far too much dust will clatter down.
Oh, can I suggest we don't blow up the aviary? I sleep here.
They do.
Oh, chicken.
Alright.
But I'll if I jumped up that to the window really good, so I can be in the building you blow up. That would be cool.
You'll be in the building I blow up.
Sounds unnecessarily dangerous.
Well,
but...
You're going to
Sounds
murder
perfect.
Crow?
No, wait. Okay. I kind of meant action shot, right? Like you blow up the building and then I race down the stairs while the building explodes and then I tumble out the front.
Would you be willing to sign something?
I stand by my statement.
Yeah, I think I know how to spell my name. I can probably sign it.
Perfect. Maybe we'll just
Oz,
get a
don't
thumbprint.
kill the bloody canary.
Crysalis will walk over to Adelaide. Adelaide, welcome back to
Chris.
the cuckoo's
I can,
nest. I mean, the aviary.
Kiss on the cheek.
If everyone wants to follow me through, we're standing in the entry.
You make your way through the entryway, you make your way through the service area to a set of stairs that leads up into the space that is actually your chapter house, actually the space that you have meetings in, and has the room where Calahan lives, and has the space that Adelaide has tried her best to make more of a home for you all. You, as a group, make your way up in towards what is actually the chapter house of this old church, the aviary. And as you come up into the space, what used to be pretty desolate, pretty covered in debris and dirt and bird shit, has been transformed a little bit by Adelaide, who took it upon herself to do some interior design in this space. Louisa, what is the kind of points of inspiration for what this place now looks like?
Well, I was terribly worried about the fact that we have people living in this space, and it's not very hygienic. So, despite all that, I've tried to make things soft and comfortable for people living here. We've got a bunch of plush couches, also some stuff that does not at all fit with the vibe. I've got some I don't know, gilded little marble statues to make the place look fancy, and it's not working with the bird shit. It's I've done my very best to spruce this up with things that would belong in my home, but kind of are incongruous with the rest of this environment.
I think there's a particular one of the gilded statues that Helene's taken to using as a coat stand. So she kind of just flounces in and chucks some of the scarves over this marble guy.
As you guys come up into this space, there are also, you've created a bit of a seating arrangement as well to take the load off whenever you need to. And as you come up, you notice that some lamps are already lit, and the familiar figure of Lightkeeper Kuali Bezko is sitting on a couch. And you watch, as you come up, her kind of flick something or other off the arm of it. This woman has dark brown skin, brown eyes, these long, tightly twisted braids that are pulled back into a low-hanging ponytail. Peeking out of this turtleneck that she is wearing are these, lightly glowing blue pieces of a scar. And she always wears the same silver necklace of stars around her neck. She also has a bridge piercing on her nose, and her eyes and lips are always accented in dark colors. This evening it is deep purple. And as you make your way up, she kind of eyes you. She has a bit of a no-nonsense demeanor. Not stern, helpful, but focused. And you come into this space and she says, "Evening, everyone."
Evening.
Miss
All right.
Bezko.
I hope this wasn't too much of an inconvenience for you.
I was about to retire for the evening, but it's fine. I can go back out,
Well, how about we sit and get down to business? She waits for you to take a seat or take a more comfortable position, if that is not sitting for you. She readjusts on the couch. I had a call this evening from a contact that I have within the OUP. Because there was a disturbance at a building this evening in South Soffit, and when they were asking questions of the tenants living there, a description stood out to my friend, my contact. A description that very closely resembled Calahan here.
Interesting. What did I do?
Was it about breaking into the aviary? Because I saw that too.
Well, I always break into the aviary, though.
It's really breaking in,
You can't break into a place that you live in, I don't believe.
Oh, okay. Alright,
You
well
should see
then,
the film.
what did I... Yeah, I was told it was pretty good, actually, so...
Doing my due diligence and hoping to keep any of you out of trouble as much as I can, I wanted to ask, before the Periphery got their hands on you, what were you doing at an apartment building in South Soffit this evening? And why did an old woman think that you were a little sketchy?
Oh, well, a lot of people tend to think I'm sketchy, but I do believe that the one that maybe you're referencing... You see, I was in South Soffit, and I was walking, right? And I was doing my normal heyday of coming down here to the aviary. And there was, this... light? But I wasn't dying. I wasn't seeing the light. I guess I could have been, but I don't think I was seeing the light because I'm still here. So, there was this light, and it, and then it... And so it back into, this building. And so I knocked on the door. And then this old lady came out and told me that I shouldn't enter at night, so I should enter in the morning. And so I told her I'd see her in the morning. Unless she doesn't wake up, then I won't see her in the morning. Hopefully she doesn't, because she didn't want to let me in the building. But I figured we'd go back. Well, I'd go back in the morning. I didn't think it was it. Should I not have? Was that a bad thing to say? Should I not? I mean, I'm going back in the morning.
We are most likely going back.
We're all going
than the morning.
Nice. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
A new case. It's crossed. Well, I guess a new case hasn't crossed my desk. I heard this, and I decided that it was going to be our new case. Simply because, very shortly after your strange questioning, there was a disturbance in one of the apartments in that building.
It wasn't me.
Well, I'm sure of that. But this woman, on the other hand, had no idea to be sure of that or not. So your name was mentioned, but I do believe that we can confidently say you are not going to be prosecuted by the periphery or picked up by them in any sense of the word. I've taken care of that.
They'd have to catch me first.
Since we're going back there, I wanted to make sure you weren't in any trouble of it happening. So, you will be fine. For the time being, I suppose. But the imagery that was described to me was just something that sparked Candela's interest. And so we want you to go take a look at the scene and see for yourselves what you can make of it.
What was the disturbance, or are we just going to go see for ourselves, better,
Well,
in person?
I have not seen.
Oh, okay.
It was described to me as startling and horrific, and that the actual disturbance was, well, now I will add some bright light to my notes, but a scream within one of the apartments quickly cut off, and that is what alerted the other tenants in the building to call the periphery.
Horrific.
Great.
My.
Joy of joys.
So, while, yes, it is late, it seemed best to begin as soon as possible.
Wait, are we going back to that apartment right now?
Indeed, we need to go before the periphery entirely taint it with their own investigation.
Okay, well, I can show y'all where it is.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be good, but maybe someone else does the talking this time.
Yeah, do us a little favor, Hen.
Fair
If you see that old lady, again, just point her out. Don't say anything yourself.
Don't say. Okay.
No,
Got
she
it.
might not want to see you. We always want to see you here. But she might be a little concerned.
Well, she's not expecting you till morning, so.
Don't say anything like, oh, I brought my friends this time, That sounds...
Don't. Okay. Don't say that.
Threatening.
Alright, got it. Okay.
Yeah, you ever
Alright,
seen those
understood.
silent movies that I was always on about? Maybe you could pretend to be a silent movie star.
Oh, silent. Okay.
So a lot of falling.
I can do that.
Well, he can definitely do that.
I think for Crysalis, every case is sort of the same at this point. So I'm going to kind of wander to a spot I imagine existing where there's not the formal attire, where I go feed the birds really quick. And I've tried to keep Adelaide from this spot because I like all the bird shit, because I sprinkle like algae and moss on it, and I want to turn it into a little like cute terrarium. So this is where I smoke and feed the birds, but I can still hear, is how I'm imagining the space.
Just through a little bit of a different walled area, but the sound filters through. And as you do that, actually, a canary flies out of the room past you and into this space and comes to rest right next to Adelaide.
Ah. A creature.
You notice that there's a little
spots of a different color on one of this canary's wings, and you recognize this one that has been around pretty much since you all moved in here, and has taken a liking to Adelaide, despite her maybe not so much returning the thoughts.
Sebastian has a little crush on him.
Kuali kind of looks around and watches this happen and says, "You do all understand that this doesn't have to be your chapter house."
Well, what do you mean? It's so warm and inviting.
If anyone wants to move somewhere else, I have some properties I can maybe try to move us to, but you all seem to like this place? Am I wrong? You let me know and we can move this whole... You like it? Okay.
I like the birds.
It's warm.
Okay, it was an offer. I wanted to make sure you guys weren't settling for something less than what you wanted, but if this is what you want, then I am not one to change your mind.
May we all resemble a cathedral filled with birds one day.
That's beautiful.
Pulls out of a jacket pocket another little slip of paper. I understand Calahan can get you back, but here's the address in case you get lost on your way.
Thank you, Doctor.
And speaking of, she sits up. I don't think you'll have any issues getting in, but be kind to any of the officers that are outside, because they could give you trouble.
Yeah. Why'd we be anything other than kind to them, eh?
I am not going to sleep here this evening, so I will be back in the morning to see what you have found and help in any way that you deem necessary.
May I walk you out, Doctor?
Of course. Thank you, Crysalis.
I just sigh as I leave the room with all the newbies. Are you holding up all right?
I have been better, but I think you also know what it feels like.
I do. That's all I wanted to ask. You know me.
All right. Well,
I'll keep an eye on him.
Yes, make sure the sprightly one doesn't get himself into too much of harm's way.
If I had to make one prediction, Doctor, I believe that sprightly one will be our most useful asset this mission.
It was under your consideration that he is here now, so...
They're quite strong.
He is your charge of sorts.
Hear that, Sebastian? You've got an underling. I'll turn and walk back in. I think if Crysalis is friendly towards anyone, the Doctor is one of them, and that's about as friendly as he gets. But he knows the weight the Doctor lives with, and has a slight resemblance of empathy for that. Very slight.
I think once Crysalis has vacated the area where most of the birds are, and only once Crysalis has done so, she's kind of scampered over, and she's nosing around looking for owl pellets. And she finds one and sort of gently pushes it apart with her shoe, picks up a little mouse skull that she finds inside and tucks it into one of her many pouches.
So, it's a murder? No?
We heard a scream. I mean...
It's a light.
Probably, but we don't know.
Light, scream, sudden stop. Murder.
Sounds like one of your movies, Oz.
Thank you.
Sure you weren't over there filming some deleted scenes?
No, I have alibis. I was on the other side of town.
Oh, very good. I'm teaching you well.
Why would you murder an old lady, though?
I don't know that it was the old lady who died. Was it? I mean, I guess we'll find out.
I think we specifically know it weren't the old lady.
Oh.
Given that she mentioned our little hen here subsequent to the murder / filmmaking incident.
Calahan,
you would know that crows and murder go hand in hand.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah. They're so that's a funny joke, you guys. Because when you get a bunch of crows, they're called a murder.
I didn't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
A group of ravens is an unkindness. Adelaide, is Jonathan still here, or has the car vacated?
Oh, he probably left, but
You told him that was enough for now, so
Yeah.
he drove off.
To be honest, we probably shouldn't drive into South Soffit. We might get more attention than y'all want. We honestly might get enough attention just with how you're dressed. You look beautiful, though, but...
Great insight, Calahan.
I don't mind attention. It's fine.
Okay.
And you are going to wear this to bed?
Well, no, it's my second outfit.
Ah!
How many do you have?
How many outfits do I have? Oh, goodness, I'm not sure.
Oz leans to Helene.
I haven't changed this suit in like 2 weeks.
Well, what I found is if you got enough scarves and you rotate them, no one notices you're wearing the same stuff underneath every day.
I should start wearing scarves.
Top tip.
Every time one of them talks, he goes and marks something in his little notebook, as though this is like their tryout a little
Chris,
bit.
are you getting into writing as well? Are you a writer of sorts?
I write quite a bit, but it's nothing entertaining.
Pity. Well, if you ever, want to get your words out there, you let me know. I know people.
I am just as uniquely precious as the next person. My words do belong to be out there. Calahan,
So true.
do you think you could lead the way? Please.
Yeah, sure. Are we going? We can go.
Yeah, we're going. I'm locking the
I
door.
suppose we'd better add.
I think I said a canary was the bird that came out near Adelaide, but let's say it's a lark, and it gives a little tweet of a song as you get up to leave, and flies back into the room with the rest of the birds.
Do we recognize this song?
I don't think it's any more familiar than any bird song. Just a sing-songy chirp. As if it was saying goodbye.
Sebastian, let him look one more time. How is the night? Is it full moon? Is it foggy? Is it like wet out?
It's not wet out. There's a little bit of chill to the air, but it's not too cold either. A light jacket does the trick for you all. The streets are lit fairly well as you make your way from the aviary across one of the bridges over the river to the eaves that are often lit very well. But in the places that they aren't, as long as the moonlight can reach those places, it does shine down on the city this evening.
While we walk, I think I'd be showing Miss Sparrow some card tricks. But like hand card tricks for their own use. See, it's really useful. You can just tuck one in with slight... See, you'd love this. You could cheat a bunch of elders out of money this way.
Oh yeah, but what about if I use this one and I pull out one of Chris's cards from my own pouch and hand it back to them?
See, that would be perfect. I'd give you my entire retirement savings now and die in poverty, and you'd be the hero of the day.
Well, don't make promises you can't keep, love.
I can't keep a single promise I make.
So I've noticed. Just you make sure you're closer with that wee notebook of yours than you are with your cards, eh?
Alright, and that was, yes, Miss Sparrow. Yes.
She makes a very big show of watching exactly which pocket you tuck that into as it goes away.
Under the eaves, though, is where you are looking to go. And Calahan knows the way into South Soffit, like the back of his hand. And the address, mostly forgotten in this search. But it does reach past the hour of midnight. You can hear a bell toll somewhere in the city as you reach the street that your quarry is on. And you see outside of an old tenement building is a couple officers of the periphery standing guard.
Calahan walks, not even clocking them. He knows they're there, but he very purposefully is like, no. Goes straight up to the door, just knocks on it.
A hand comes out, kind of like hits against your chest. Excuse me.
Hi, you're excused.
What is your business here this evening?
I'm going in the apartment.
by whose orders? This is currently a crime scene.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm going in the apartment. By my orders.
Make me a sway roll.
Just taking all of it down in the book.
Yeah, are we all in just like an alley, like Scooby-Doo style watching?
I figured you were walking up as a group together,
Yeah,
but if you want to
yeah.
be hidden somewhere...
It's up to you. Are you guys hidden or
I'll
not?
be standing like just a few feet behind him.
I was probably lagging behind because I'm a little bit slower because of my clothes.
Yeah.
But I am coming up. Yeah.
Okay, because I'll take a drive if anyone wants to give it, but if not, I'm rolling at disadvantage.
Yeah, I'll help out. I think I come over and I'm like doing my best to project like an aura of like I belong here. Like, yes, we do have business in the building, and I'll give you some help there.
I'm gonna lean and watch as though I'm just curious what the newbies are gonna do in this situation.
That's a 3.
The guard, she kind of pushes you back a little bit and says, "Your face looks a little familiar. Were you here earlier tonight?"
Yes. Yeah, I talked to the old lady. I told her that I would come back in the morning because she said it was too late to come at night. So I'm here. It's technically morning because it's past midnight. So I'm going to knock on the door. And then I'm going to go inside.
What is, in looking around now at the rest of you that are standing like very close behind Calahan, what are you all trying to achieve here this evening? What is your business in a place that is currently under watch?
We are, of course, here with the press, and I will mark a gear for my press credentials. And I will show that to the cops and be like, we heard, disturbances, and we're here to investigate. Of course, we wouldn't want to interfere with your investigation, but, we're a very perceptive bunch, and, if we see anything, we'd be happy, of course, to report our findings to you.
Do I recognize either of these flatfoots as local boys that grew up here, or anything of that sort?
I don't think you recognize them as anything like that. You do recognize that there is a badge on their uniforms that is slightly different than the regular periphery badge. That is specifically within the periphery, the Office of Unexplained Phenomena, which
we butt up
has
with.
Works with Candela. There's sometimes a bit of a tenuous relationship because there's a lot of bureaucracy within the periphery that they have to deal with that Candela doesn't quite have to worry about.
I think I'll maybe kind of slide up next to Calahan, offer them a cigarette. Oh, you got anything weird in there, boys? Seems like you got something pretty weird.
One of them kind of, there's a glimmer in his eyes, like he recognizes you from another crime scene at some point. And he goes, "Oh, okay.
Morning."
Hey, everyone. Yes, weird is light. That's to put it lightly. You can't be in there for a long time.
No need to be.
Okay? So in and out, do your thing. Move on.
Thank you kindly, officer.
You realize if we solve this, it only looks good on you.
If you give us the credit for it.
I don't care about credit. I just hand him like a little $5 handshake. Come on, Calahan, don't say anything.
Right, don't talk.
The door's unlocked, and the guard that first spoke to you kind of twists the knob and pushes it in. Up on 3rd floor, the apartment door's cracked.
Thanks, we'll be fast.
Please do. As you all trail in, closes it behind you, and you're in a rather dark hallway, the one light on each floor not really lighting the space at all.
Calahan, lead the way.
There's no one up here guarding the room. It was only on the base of the apartment. So you are free to walk in.
Is the door's cracked, right? So it's not locked or anything?
Yep.
Can I sense roll before I walk in the store, see if there's any bleed or magic happening?
Yeah, of course. Please do.
That's a 5.
It's easier to sense because as you all climb up, you can hear Sebastian in the cage starting to make a little bit of a ruckus. And there's definitely a feeling when you kind of put your hand on the door of like a coldness that is not within the hallway.
Helene is, she's pulled out those oracle cards again, and she's flipping them. She's trying to make out like she's practicing the trick that Chris was showing her, which of course would be pointless since she demonstrated she can easily do sleight of hand tricks. But she's watching them very closely and tries not to react when she can see the ink starting to sort of blur on some of them.
Calahan presses forward if there's no objection.
I think Crysalis might even set a hand on your shoulder. Like for a moment, their casualness drops because Sebastian, still letting Calahan open the door, but Crysalis will be there with them instead of 4 people back.
Oz is in the back.
Is the camera
The camera is out, and as soon as the door opens, it will begin rolling.
Wonderful.
Ghost
A
hunters.
bane to Candela's existence. So you open the door, and it's thrown into a room with a small like living area that you can see immediately upon opening the door. And you see that right off of that is a room where there's a light coming out of, and right in front of that room you see a prone body hanging in midair, limbs askew, body contorted, completely shadowed from the one side because moonlight is not getting in through the window in the back, but lit from the other side, and just suspended in midair.
Very casual. I'm gonna go to that window and open it a little more, see if the moon can come in.
I think Helene's going to look down at her cards, and one of them, the ink has bled into just literally a silhouette of this body in the same shape. And she's like, fuck, fine, alright. And she'll take a deep breath, clearly very reluctantly, walk forward and reach out a hand and just gently touch the shoulder of this body.
Okay.
And Helene has the ability to hear, smell, and feel the last few moments of a dead creature's life.
You reach out and you touch the shoulder of this individual, and it is ice cold, and you feel like I'm gonna have you take a body mark as you feel like the warmth inside your own skin is just immediately pulled out, and you're left with a tingling ice cold feeling on your fingertips. And you hear the absence of all sound, and then a scream that is cut off too soon as breath leaves the body in a sigh or an uncontrollable exhale. But the smells aren't anything that are any different from what the room currently smells of.
I think Helene is pretty horrified. Feels as though she can feel the fear of this person in that moment. And instinctively she grips harder. And I'm gonna take a bleed mark to see if I can see what this person saw.
Alrighty. You see this very tall, very lanky, long-limbed shadow. It's not exactly humanoid. Everything is a little bit longer, a little bit more sharp, but it doesn't have eyes. It doesn't have a mouth. It doesn't have any features that would signify a human form. It just simply is kind of in a slightly amorphous shape that humans usually take. Version of the shape humans usually take.
Helene sees this, abruptly lets go, staggers back a few paces, and throws up on the ground.
Notebook.
Did you see a real ghost, Helene?
Yeah. Sorry. Yep. Pretty gross. Yep. So, big shadow, scary shadow, very cold shadow. Dead. Saw the shadow, got dead. Yep. That's the long and short of it. I'm just gonna have a little sit in this, and she'll kind of stumble over to whatever chair's there and just have a little sit down, and start toying with some feathers that she pulls out of a pouch.
So we're dealing with a shadow monster. All right.
I don't know about all that, but I mean, we should probably look around and see who this person was. And I just start like opening this person's drawers, like looking through their like personal stuff. I don't know shit about ghosts, but I can snoop with the best of them.
There's still
and I'm just like looking to see
a really bright light coming from somewhere, isn't there?
It's not a super bright
Okay.
light. It's just a light from the bathroom that you can look past the body and see. There is no bright light that Calahan described to you within the room. But as you do that, Adelaide, I want you to make a survey roll.
Did I see the flash of light when I saw that vision of the shadow? Like, did I see
you
what
did
Calahan...
not.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
did not.
I will relay that as well in between gasps and retches, that I didn't see this light that Calahan was talking about.
Oz, get a good
I
picture.
got a 6.
Oh, I'm getting it.
There aren't like a ton of personal effects in this house, and you don't get the understanding that that's because no one lived here, really. You get the understanding that this person doesn't have a lot of things. So you find like a fairly nice watch that doesn't look like it should belong in this space. You find just normal clothes, a bunch of them with like what looks like grease stains on them that haven't been washed yet. You find a little pamphlet for a show in some bar somewhere in the city. You find you know what? Actually, you do, though. You find a what looks to be a postcard, and on it are 2 names. One of them is Safina. It says, "Dear Safina," and it is signed by the name Connor.
I think perhaps our corpse is named Safina. They were in contact with someone named Connor. Maybe we can find Connor at some point. Otherwise, they seem incredibly normal, you know. Worker has stuff, I don't know.
Oz will turn off the camera and go over to the body. Are the eyes open or closed?
Yeah, I'm just watching it hover while they're looking through drawers and stuff.
Oz will swipe a leg underneath the floating body just
Like-
to make sure it's not an illusion.
The eyes are open, but in the sockets, there are no eyes. Instead, there is a deep, dark blue dotted with color and blinking stars like galaxies swirling inside a skull.
Get a picture of that, Oz, would you?
Yeah, no problem.
Have you seen anything like this before?
I don't think I'll answer Oz. I think I'm going to try to read the body language of the corpse. Like, do they have wounds under their nails? Were they trying to resist something? Do they appear to have any other sort of wounds or lacerations or anything of that sort?
Yeah, let me have you do a read roll for me.
And I have 2 in read. I'm not going to use a drive. It's a 2 and a 1.
As you kind of inspect or go to inspect this, you feel that Sebastian is like pulling the cage away from the body.
I hear you. I'll set him down, like on the coffee table type
And
of
as
thing.
you do, you see something faint on the wall opposite the bathroom where all of your focus has been. And that's the way that Sebastian is kind of like fluttering. There's a soft glow, like something that's written in invisible ink that grows dimmer and older with age. And it's looks to be a light greenish yellow in color and is kind of dripping as if it were liquid at some point. But there are words, letters, an alphabet you know. And it says, "I'm nobody. Who are you?"
The way I imagine it is Crysalis is looking at this boring wall while everyone's kind of behind him dealing with, a floating body and much more dramatic things. I think he'll almost say something, but then I'm just going to walk up and put my hand on the wall.
Okay. I will have you make a sense roll.
I'm going to burn a resistance to re-roll that one that I just rolled, and that's a 5, so that's a little better.
You're going to take a bleed mark. This sense of desire and want and desperation to understand things kind of fills your body, and in your own voice ring in your head, you hear the question repeated, "Who are you? Who are you?"
To gain control, I begin imitating myself. I know what I'm supposed to be like, so I do little cold things on my own body, and with my hand on the wall, I remind it, I just walked up and touched you, unafraid. This is who I am. But just sheer force of will, pushing back, almost trying to have a dialogue in this energy.
It doesn't answer you back as you spoke to it, but you feel that the certainty that you brought to it dissipated the questioning that it had for you.
Before
and it slowly recedes.
I think the last thing he would whisper before maybe drawing his companion's attention to it is, "Do you need anything from me?"
You hear in your own voice in your head, "I'm nobody." And that's it.
May we all one day be nobody. And I'm going to turn and draw probably Miss Sparrow and Miss Lumley-Fontaine's attention to the wall. I know what I'm good at, and I know what they're better at. Either of you, anything here? I thought I saw a play of light. Sebastian doesn't like it.
I mean, it looks like a fucking wall.
Do we notice anything?
I was gonna say, as you kind of you have to get fairly close to this for it to like kind of blink a few times as if it is a trick of the light. But as Crysalis kind of shows you, it does start to appear. These words. Oh, also, Crysalis, when you touched it, it was not wet at all.
Oh,
This
God.
wall is nobody?
What? What does that mean? Oh,
I mean, most walls are nobody, right?
God, alright, fine, I'll do the fucking thing, right? I'd like to also try and like touch it and do a sense roll.
And I'm
Alright.
wrapping the
Everyone
bleed
keeps
on my
touching
hands.
things.
Like, so they
Goodness.
know it did damage. Like, I'm bleeding.
I'm already in a bloody state, mind the vomit pool. I may as well carry on as I've started. So, if I spend a drive, I can do an extra die, is that correct? So I've got
Yes.
2 in sense, but I can roll 3 if I spend a drive.
Yes. And one of them is gilded.
So if I choose that one, I get
believe,
the drive back.
right. Yes.
Jesus Christ. I got a 1, a 2, and a 3, so I'll choose the 3 on the gilded die, since it makes no odds, and I'll keep the drive, but yeah, didn't help me much.
Man, the Circle of the Broken Cage is a not lucky group.
Broken.
All right, well, you do take a bleed from touching it. You feel an emotion that you can't quite ascertain, that just completely overwhelms your body and almost kind of paralyzes you for a second before it's gone.
I've just spotted on my sheet, the other thing I took was called Let Them In, and it says, if I take a bleed mark, I get additional information about the phenomenon that harmed you. So that worked out better. So I think after she finished puking, she suddenly, she raises her head back up and is like, what was that?
The mechanic here is that you get to ask me one question about the source.
Can Helene tell if this bleed and the thing causing the floating dead body are the same phenomenon or different?
When you touched the body originally and felt just how cold it was and the terror it felt in, or she felt in her last moments, it was all like cut off so swiftly and replaced by an emptiness. And there's a similarity, there's a connection between emptiness and nobody that sticks out to you, that you can connect and understand as this was one entity being in this space.
Okay, so she'll lift up her head after she's finished retching and be like, the fuck? So this shallow thing killed a floating woman and then wrote on a fucking wall? What is going on?
Do you all often gain information by just touching things? Is that how this works?
I mean, I'd rather not, but since I'm here...
I think Adelaide goes and grabs like a trash can in the room and like places it in front of the wall and then is like, all right, well, I'll try. And like goes to touch it.
The notebook is just flying pages.
I want to give you a option here, which I don't think mechanically really changes what will happen because you have one in both of these options, but it changes like what the answer that I will give you would be about. So I would say that you can make either a focus roll or a sense roll.
I would say I think Adelaide's is probably a focus roll. I think she is much less attuned to the mystical than everyone else in this group, probably. So I think she's just trying to, like, focus, put pieces together, like, more of an inspection than I'm connecting to the spirit, because she doesn't know how to do that.
I say that you still take a bleed mark by touching it.
That's a 4?
You put your hand up here, and as you kind of like slide your fingers across it, inspect this more closely, there isn't a difference in substance between the wall and what is written on the wall. Like, almost as, if you're thinking of a movie, maybe one of Oz's films, maybe if you've been inside of, well, you've witnessed at least one moment of Helene working her magic. It almost looks like it could be a projection, like it is casted onto the wall, but not actually on the wall.
Well, now this is interesting. It's like the writing is the wall, It's not on the wall, it is the wall. Also, wow, I did gain information by touching something. How interesting. Oh.
Can we see 3 handprints on the wall? Like, did we leave any sort of residue?
You did not.
Also, oh gosh. Okay. That did hurt a little.
Oz, if you could get pictures of all of this, the young men downstairs will probably be shooing us on our way fairly soon.
Oz has turned the camera off and is looking into the eyes still. Would I be able to would it possibly be like a survey, as in like spotting or searching, to look into the eyes that are somewhat like galaxies and see if I can pinpoint any constellation, as well as going to the window and seeing if the constellation or the stars match the eyes tonight?
I would say that would be a focus, not a survey.
5. And or if there is some sort of, meaning behind a star or a planet or something that appears, a pattern that appears in the eyes.
There's no way to pinpoint where in the night sky any of this could be, because it just begins to swirl and move around, and your eye once again begins to glow, but this time instead of the normal is relative here, but the normal way it does so, it matches the colors within the eyes you're looking at.
Okay.
You see every so often a constellation you recognize, but it's partnered with a constellation that is nowhere near it in the night sky, that type of thing. So it's familiar and strange all wrapped up in one.
I'm going to take a little handkerchief Crysalis has and get some of the blood from my bleed, and on the writing on the wall, I'm going to make a comma. So it just says, I am no body. And then he's just going to kind of stare at it for a while and then wonder about digging out an eyeball.
As a clarification, seeing as we don't have this actual visual in front of us, the N on the nobody is capitalized.
There's been a bathroom with a light that we have not looked at. Can I go check the bathroom with the light?
Yeah, there's the light that's within the bathroom is just like the electric light on the wall by the mirror. There's a towel in the sink. There's a cracked mirror. It looks to be just a normal bathroom.
Does anyone see a spoon?
Oh, I was looking in the drawers, but
I think we should take one of these eyes.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness.
Everyone, pull out your handbook. What's one of our number one tasks? Bringing things back to Candela Obscura for them to research and study. We have space eyeballs. Calahan?
Are they eyeballs or are they voids? Like the eyes are gone?
Good question.
It doesn't look like actual eyeballs anymore.
Can I, while Calahan's walked into the bathroom where Helene's hunched over the toilet, shut up and be like, Calahan, chicken, you got any weapons on you today? Bat or
Why?
Something for hitting?
Why?
I just wanted to see if you fancied checking if that wall were real. As Adelaide seems to think it isn't.
The wall with the writing?
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything strong enough for a wall unless we want to take down the whole apartment.
Well, wouldn't be the end of the day.
I think Oz does want that.
Yeah.
Well, Adelaide, we could just take the head. No.
Again?
We'd probably get in trouble.
You're the veteran here, if that's normal? Go for it. I just will look the other way. Delicate constitution.
Adelaide works great with leadership.
Is the head facing up or is it tilted at all? I'm basically trying to figure out where the eyes looked last.
The head is tilted just slightly, as if it was looking up at somebody much taller than you.
I'm going to look in the shadows of the direction that I think that thing came from and look for anything in terms of like a fracture in some sort of like almost like a light fracture in some one of the shadows.
Yeah, make me a survey for this. Also, as Oz is doing this, you all notice that his eye is lit up and glowing.
I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Was one of them gilded?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've used any intuition drives, but if you want to use the gilded, you can get a drive back. I'm not sure what would be the best mechanic choice for you. A full success or a...
I'll do the full success, I think.
How bright does his eye light up? Is it like we catch it, or is it like there's an element of illumination coming out of it?
There's an element of illumination, like you can... I mean, it's a little bit hard, but like Oz knows when it happens because it literally reflects off the brim of his hat. So it is enough. It's not like a spotlight, but it is enough that it looks...
It's like an underglow here.
Odd.
I want to flip the light off, but I don't want it to affect his roll or read however that was going first. But I'm like, lights.
Well, I mean, he was looking for a type of light source. So it could, help. But he rolled a 6, so we'll go with the full success with the lights on or off. Are you looking around for like a thinning? Is that specifically what you're looking for?
Pretty much.
Yes, okay.
An entry point of something from the
I
shadow.
thought so.
Yeah.
You are 100% certain that whatever type of phenomenon this is, and however it came into New Fair, it did not come into New Fair through this apartment building.
Does the body glow when the lights are
The body
off?
does not glow.
The eyes?
The eyes are still like the color that they don't like glow, but there's a little bit of a light to them. You can hear footsteps starting to climb up the stairwell outside of this room.
Do we need more time, or are we good?
I mean, if no one wants to punch this wall. I mean, I do, but my hand fucking hurts, so...
I mean,
Oh,
it
you want me
seemed
to
like a
punch
real
it?
wall. It was just the words were in the wall. I don't know.
Oz, could you get one more quick shot out the window so we can see, maybe from the outside, how we could find this room again?
Absolutely. No,
Just so we
capture
know what's
everything
right out that window.
left that we kind of need.
Right before we go, I mean, if we're not going to try and take the eyeballs, I'm going to try and put my finger in it. I got to know if it's a void or if it's an eyeball. I have to know if it's a physical thing that I can grab, or is it like, whoop, there goes my hand.
Calahan jabs a finger into the eye socket of this individual, and I don't know if you're expecting an eye or to hit something. You get all the way up to your last knuckle here, and empty space.
Is there any... Can I sense while I have my finger in this
Sure,
void
yes.
of an eyeball?
Roll a sense roll, please.
No, well, that's a full success.
Cold, freezing air in wind, like it's moving inside. There's a blowing of cold air within this skull.
Does it feel like there's a source to this air, or it's just
It's
air?
kind of unknowable simply because you can't see past the galaxies to like what that is, but it's frigid. Like New Fair can get cold, but this is something else. This is not normal weather. And I do have to ask you to take a body mark. Instant frostbite.
That's exactly how I was going to describe it. As I was going to say, he pulls his finger out real fast, and he just kind of looks at it, and he's like, and then he does that thing because frostbite feels hot, even though it's freezing, because it's burning. So he does that thing where instinctually you go, but then it just makes it worse because it's frostbite. So he's like, hoo, 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 hoo. And he just kind of like stands there for a second, but now he just sort of has like a streak of the, even when the frostbite maybe dissipates from the body mark, he has just the thinnest streak along the finger of like a purple blue that sticks with him now.
Mr. Crow,
And
can
you
Sebastian smell your finger, please? I want to see if their finger triggers Sebastian's, like, fear response.
Absolutely.
Sebastian hops over into the cage near the finger, and he gives a response that means he can sense it a little bit, but it is not of like a harmful nature anymore.
I look at Calahan a little concerned, but also looking at Sparrow, who is bleeding from multiple issues. Like everyone sort of is. Like, all right, well, I'll give us a C-, and then probably just start heading to the door.
Well, there's a clearing of the throat.
Right on time.
I can't say that I would have considered putting my fingers inside somebody's skull, but I think we might just have different methods of inspection. I think it's about time you leave.
Thank you, officer.
Is this one of the ones from...
It was the first one that Calahan talked to downstairs.
We got everything we needed. Thank you very much for allowing our curiosity.
Wonderful.
Yes, thank you ever so.
Kind of wait by the door to watch all of you walk out.
I'll leave him a cigarette.
I was gonna, mutter to Calahan as we're heading down. It was cold, right?
It was cold.
That's how she felt right before. And I'll kind of show all my fingertips that are also kind of red and frostbitten looking from when I grabbed the shoulder.
I'd like to read the cop before I leave the room to see if their face is like, I'm glad they didn't find this thing. I swear to God, that's another 6 and a 5.
Hey!
Yes!
Oz got the luck back.
Let's go.
This OUP officer seems to not have worked with Candela Obscura before, as the other officer still downstairs had, and so doesn't have the same sort of understanding that you are all in this together in a sense, and is just concerned that whatever you are doing is going to mess up whatever they have to do in the coming hours. You exit, and the other officer down there kind of nods at specifically Crysalis.
It's a weird one.
As you leave. It's a gnarly one, it is.
Did you try fingering the void? It's cold. Just saving you the damage. It's very cold.
Yeah, I think I'll keep my hands to myself.
Send the newbies.
That's a wise instinct.
Mm-hmm. Maybe best to take into mind if you don't already consider that a problem.
Why do you think I bring 4 of them?
Keep it under consideration, And you all have this information of this new phenomenon that has popped up.
Should we go find a Connor? Because I know there was the bar flyer when you found through the things.
Yes, definitely.
Should we go to this bar, wherever she was, and look for a Connor?
We should get warm drinks.
Yeah, a drink sounds alright. I miss when we were getting mauled by a bloody big bird.
That was a nightmare. That garden got ruined. It was...
Well, we're better than this.
Did it? This seems to be going fine.
What? It's bloody starry-eyed nightmare, shadow wall, bleeding...
I guess I meant for us.
Yeah, let's get a drink.
Yeah, I'm like half a block down the street already, but I'm just thinking, I'm like, nobody.
We gotta go to whatever that flyer was that she came from or whatever, see if people know her name, his name, something like that.
Adelaide, what was on the postcard?
It said, Dear Safina, I miss you, but not as terribly as you would hope I did. I'm sure Ma and Dad will be happy to have me home. But for the time being, I've got another few months wandering the countryside, so I shall see you soon.
It was a little spicy in tone. I think maybe they were siblings or something. Maybe Ma and Dad, they referred to parents, probably the same ones, unsure. But Connor had been traveling, and Safina, I think, is the body.
Had you pocketed the postcard?
That's a good question. I feel bad retroactively being like, and I pocketed this, the cops don't have it. But I feel like maybe she would have.
I would agree with you that I think Adelaide might have taken it.
Yeah, like she's a nosy bitch. Like, you know,
Can you?
if you see something, take something.
Do you mind holding those up to dear Sebastian for a moment?
Oh, sure. Have a sniff.
Knowing that the bleed came from somewhere outside, mail is delivered. I'm gonna have Sebastian take a little, canary sniff.
Yeah. He does not react negatively towards this.
He's never liked postcards much.
Do we recognize the landmark on the other side of the postcard? Or?
It's kind of a visage of a hand-drawn visage of a mountainside, though it doesn't look like the Brattlebourne Mountains, which is nearest to New Fair. Doesn't look like those, so it's somewhere else.
He's been off traveling? Somewhere in the mountains? I do like the mountains.
Warm drinks, everyone?
Absolutely.
Do we have everyone for the evening?
Strong. Any descriptor you like, really.
So, you all walk away from the beginning investigation into this new case towards a bar that none of you have been to before, but that might give you some more answers, and a lingering and new fear of some new phenomenon within the city. And that is where we are going to bring this first episode of The Circle of the Broken Cage to a close. But I would like to now, at the end here, go around and introduce this lovely cast who did a phenomenal job opening this story. I don't know if you guys see yourselves in the same pattern I do, so I will just kind of call you out. But Brennan, if you wouldn't mind going first. Oh, also, we never, when we introduced our characters, we never said what their role or specialty were. So I would love to do that in this moment as well.
My name is Brennan Hershock. I play Oz Skinner, who is the role of face, but the specialty of occultist.
We did a little homebrew magic with Oz.
I'm RahRah. I play Crysalis Lupin, who is also a face, but he's the magician. I show up in a lot of games, have a sad podcast where I try to make people cry. Currently, just got done casting call for season 2 of that, so it's called Heart of a Dungeon, and that's kind of my main project.
Hello, I am Michelle Kelly. I play Helene Sparrow, who is weird, as you can tell, and has a specialty of medium. I am an actor, voice actor, singer, and TTRPG performer. How about that? And you can follow me on the socials. I'm on most of them, at MichelleCopter, if you want to see where I'm going to pop up next.
Hi, I'm Louisa Blatt. I play Adelaide Lumley-Fontaine, very long name. And she is a face and a journalist. She's got a gossip column. And you can follow me on Twitter at Louisa Blatt. And I do singing, I write songs, I do some voice acting, play some games. Give me a follow, learn about that stuff. But yeah.
Rachel Shumacher. I play Calahan Crow. He's Muscle Explorer, our little beefy himbo of the group. You can catch me on lots of things. I'm a voice actor. I have my own YouTube and Twitch that I go live on. I do my own series on, all that kind of jazz. So come hang.
Awesome, and I am Kenzie Tartaglione. If you have watched any Queer PG show before, you might have seen me, and I'm the GM of our story, and I'm so excited to be playing this game with all these lovely people, and we hope that you are enjoying it as well, so we shall see you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.